Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing the second episode of The Bachelorette, which is Delivering. But before we do, I do have some hot goss for this episode, which is some of it is Bachelor, Nation related. So Ashley and Jared are officially parents of two. The Bachelor in Paradise alums welcomed their second baby on July 22nd, just a couple of days ago. They confirmed two people the following day. Ashley and Jared revealed their second son's name is Hayden Cruz Habon. Anyways, he was born in the afternoon, weighing 8 pounds and 7 ounces. Jared said, quote, "Baby is healthy and so is mama. Seeing Dawson meet his little brother for the first time was as precious as we always imagined the moment would be. Dawson is full of love and kept petting Hayden. We joked about naming him Anakin as I'm a big Star Wars fan, and Ashley fangirled over Hayden Christensen as a teen. That sparked the idea for the name Hayden. It took a while to firmly decide on because of the alliteration with our last name, but ultimately we felt it fit. As for the middle name, US Weekly staff immediately knew that it was a reference to actor Tom Cruise, as the couple previously exclusively discussed their obsession with famous Toms. Okay. He said, quote, "We don't have a name, but boy or girl, we gotta figure that out. And then also, if it is a boy, it's going to be hard not to choose Tom. I'm not saying it will be Tom," which Ashley firmly said no. The moniker, Jared explained, has a special place in his life because of Cruz, Tom Brady, and Rob Thomas. Tom is just such an impactful part of our life. Okay, just the name Dom, he explained. Ashley added, "We've already established that we're going to name a golden retriever Tom one day, so I don't know where this is coming from." Either way, congratulations to the parents. Yeah, I don't have any pictures, unfortunately, but let's move on to the second piece. So this is in relation to a feud that's apparently happening between Statler and Armando. And I don't have the full details on the feud itself, like the comments that were made, but I do have something here, so let's discuss that. So earlier this year, Statler took to Instagram stories to share her suggestions about having a spinoff where the cast members get to live in one house, kind of like a Brick Brothers style. The 90 Day Fiancé star even encouraged her followers to send her idea to TLC's pages to make it a reality. However, Statler thinks the network picked up her idea for the upcoming tell-all of HEA without crediting her. Okay, let's finish this before I put my thoughts out here. Statler showed up in one of TLC's Instagram posts to comment, quote, "They stolen caps, my 90-day house idea, big surprise there." But her exchange with Armando in the comments section surprised many. According to Armando, they had spoken about it weeks ago, but he thinks that Statler didn't get his point, and he wondered if it had to do with English being a second language. "Honey, your English is incredible. Better than most." Anyways, he said, quote, "My point was a guest house, and yes, more non-Statler ideas coming soon are things the network has had brainstormed, planned, and lined up." He said before explaining that the idea wasn't stolen from Statler, but was created by TLC long ago. Exactly. The fact that this girl, like, is, I don't want to say narcissistic, but not really narcissistic, but just everything is about her. And the thing is, it's like, okay, you may have had an idea, but doesn't mean that that idea wasn't already planned and figured out. And either way, even if it was your idea initially, and they're like, "That is a good fucking idea," they're not going to credit you. And the fact that you think that they're going to credit you is laughable. It really is. But the chances are, with how I think somehow well received the last HEA tell-all was, which was like the 4-part extravaganza or whatever the fuck. And now they're doing this no limits situation. And I wouldn't even say it for brother. I would actually say it gives like real world vibes to me, honestly. But anyways, that's me because I don't watch Big Brother, so I can't really say neither here nor there. But they probably have this plan from last year when HEA was out. So, or technically, was it earlier this year? My brain. Fuck, that might have been earlier this year. Take that in, y'all. Anyways, they've had this planned. That's the moral of the story. So, and the fact that they kind of do this with HEA and then like more traditional with the other iterations, ma'am, you didn't come up with this. They already had it. And again, just to play devil's advocate, if they did, they're not going to credit you. So, anyway, enough of that. That's the last piece I have. Let's get into the reason that we are here. Again, this episode is incredible. So, The Bachelorette Season 21, Episode 2, Week 1 is what I'm calling it. So, we are in Melbourne with the Kangas and the koalas. G'day, mate. That's where we're at. So, the guys are at the hotel and we get a date card. So, this is going to be a group date. And on this group date, we have Sam N, Marvin, Brian, Jonathan, Aaron, Grant, Jeremy, Devin. And it reads, "Let's find love in Melbourne." So Devin would love to get some one-on-one time, get some time away from the other guys because he doesn't really want to be one of many. He wants to have his own time. So we'll see what he'll do there. So we're at the Queen Victoria Market and we are going to be perusing said market and potentially eating some of the fun things that they have for us to eat. One of those things is kangaroo salami. I didn't know we were eating kangaroo in Australia. But anyways, we also have some Vegemite, which I've never had in my entire life, but I've definitely heard it is disgusting and I will not be trying it anytime soon. And no one else really seems to like it either. Grant actually describes it as soy peanut butter. No, thank you. Or like soy sauce peanut butter. So no. We do a shot of whiskey that also has kangaroo meat in it. Actually, y'all, it's not just kangaroo meat, it's kangaroo testicles. Most of them spit that out. I would do the same. I see we have some Lemington. I think that's the name. I've actually had it. It's been a minute since I've had it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And it is so good. It is so good. When me and my mom actually saw the Lemington, we're like, oh, because we can't get it anymore. We used to be able to get it in Toronto. There was a cute little place in one of the buildings near my work, and it didn't survive COVID, so unfortunately we can't get it anymore, but it was really good. And that's probably the only thing that I would have eaten in this whole place. Anyway, Sam N feels like he kind of sticks out with not being able to eat certain things, in particular dairy, which I'm going to assume is a cultural thing. He just feels like it's kind of unfair to himself. But again, like, there's nothing you can really do. If culturally you're not supposed to eat certain foods, there's nothing you can do about it. And I don't think anyone is holding that against you. So, Devin is like, listen, I'm not one of many, like I said before. So he says, I have a surprise for you, Jenn. So he basically pulls her aside and kind of, removes her from the other guys. And they're kind of like, what the fuck is happening? Aaron is like, so Devin just run off with Jenn. And he's kind of ruining that group date vibe that they've kind of established. So they're going to go steal her back because how very dare he? So, meanwhile, while the guys are on their way to steal her back, Devin takes her to basically this kind of ice cream shop. Technically, it's gelato, but it's fine because she apparently loves ice cream, which he says he does too. That seems convenient. But then the guys basically show up right on time, and he's like, "Do you guys want some ice cream, gelato? Do you want some?" And he's like, "I feel bad. I stole her away. I feel really bad." No, you don't. If you're gonna do it, own it. Don't feel bad about it. Anyways, I think it's them or Jenn, someone says like, "No worries, it wasn't like your fault or whatever, so it's fine." Then we go to this comedy club where we have someone by the name of Beck Charlwood, I believe is her name, who is basically just spewing out the jokes at this point. She says, "You guys came late. Usually, you guys technically look like the kind of guys that come early." Want to know what that feels like? Jenn, she's like, "You have 8 guys with you. Are you me in college or like what?" So basically, guess what, you guys? We're gonna have to basically do our own comedy acts. You will be performing it in front of everyone here. So you got 10 minutes to do the shit and yeah, get it done. So we're in, they get the 10 minutes, they're writing everything down. Basically, the guys are kind of like, we're all coming for Devin because why wouldn't you in the circumstances? So let's get started. Devin does go first and he kind of jokes, I think he said on the lines that like they're burning out, I think. Can't read my handwriting. It is what it is. But then he's like, "Okay, so that's it for me. Let's welcome." He lowers the mic down. Jeremy, because I guess the joke is Jeremy's short. He's not that short. Anyway, but Jeremy comes up and he says, "Devin loves talking about himself. He really does." And then Sam N comes out for Devin. Grant says Devin is the only one full of shit. Even the great Aaron says you look like the budget Pete Davidson. um, um, but Devin's feeling really good about himself at this moment because he's like, "Listen, the guys wouldn't be talking about me if I wasn't like a threat to them, right? Right? Right." So now we're at the night portion, and Devin tells the guys, "I hope that the ice cream gets me that rose." So again, the bar is so damn low that you think the bar is so damn low that you think that you're going to win a rose because you got her fucking ice cream, aka actually it's gelato. Like, nothing, no hit against gelato. I'm just saying, like, it's not ice cream. It's gelato. But anyway, there are people who need to have gelato. That's fine. Again, not hating on it. My mom has to be dairy free for the most part as well. So I'm not hating on it, but I'm just saying, like, it's not a big deal. It's fucking ice cream. Anyway, but Aaron takes the opportunity to say, you know, "You sure about that? You feel happy with yourself? You feel good?" Marcus and Jenn, in the meantime, are having their time. Did I say Marcus? Because it can't be Marcus because he's on the one-on-one. What did I write? Anyways, I can't remember who I wrote because Marvin. Maybe it was Marvin, but that doesn't make sense either based on how this episode ends. But anyways, I don't remember who I wrote. Let's move on. Back at the house, we got another day card coming, and this is the one-on-one date, and it's for Marcus, and it reads, "Let's fall in love." Back at the date, Aaron and Dylan, whoops, said that I'm wrong. Sorry, it's Devin because he doesn't know his fucking name. He wants to talk about what happened earlier today with the ice cream situation. And he says, "I don't think she wants to be, basically with a kid," or whatever the fuck he says. And yeah, because Aaron does accuse him of acting like a child, which I think that there's a way to have a conversation about something without belittling other people. But that's just me. This makes it fun for us to watch. Basically, Devin says, like, you're delusional. Like, calm the fuck down. He's like, listen, I can't wait for you to show up, show up at my wedding. Can't wait for it. I'm going to give you brownie points for boldness and confidence. So you're not winning this. You're just not. There's no way in fucking hell. If he does, I'm shooketh. But anyways, then Devin complains to Brian about Aaron, because this is where we're at. And he decides, you know what, since I love ice cream so fucking much, I'm going to go crash Aaron's time with Jenn. And you know what? All we're kind of getting in this moment with him going to crash the party, we just get this like it's like it's fucked up. And I absolutely hate it. First of all, number one, I hate the fucking Pop Goes the Beelzebub song, because I am Buddy the Elf waiting for that fucking shit to pop the fuck out and wanted to throw the box across the room. That is me. Okay. Number two, I just don't like it at all. I don't like the song at all. It's creepy as fuck. And when you add it in more creepy element to it, where like the song is gonna break or something, I can't. But this is basically what we see. We see this person walking up with a tray, not tray's the wrong word to use, but if you watch the episode, he has a trolley. There we go. Anything from the trolley, that's what we're happening here. So he's walking with this trolley. We have the going in the background, and of course, this is Devin coming to crash the party with Aaron right after him and Aaron literally just had an argument about, delusional and shit. And he crashes the party with them and says, I'm so sorry. Aaron, can I have some time with her, please? Yeah, I got this ice cream. Yeah. And Aaron's like, can I have a minute? Like, and he's like, no, the pesky ice cream, it melts, I don't want the ice cream to melt. So, can you go? I only have enough for two, so you gotta go. This is so fucked. But Aaron ultimately gets up and he says, like, I'm pissed. He comes in and crashes the party with more fucking ice cream. He's ruining my chances to get to know her. But not only that, he's ruining her opportunity to get to know me. What the fuck? First of all, Aaron, how do you know she really does want to get to know you? I'm just saying. Curiosity, I love to know where you think that came from. But anyways, Devin is like, Jen, I hope you think that I'm not like arrogant or egotistical or anything like that. Which again is a weird question to ask her when she's not seeing the full fucking picture. Now, if you were to ask the other men, yes, they're going to say you're arrogant and egotistical. If you ask me as a viewer, I'm also going to say you're arrogant and egotistical. But like, she's not going to say that. She doesn't see all the whole thing. She's saying maybe it now. But anyways, so Aaron is not complaining to Jeremy. It's really funny when you see, because we saw like Jeremy and Brian have a little bit of an issue first night, and you kind of see the company both of these guys keep. Neither work for me. Neither Brian or Jeremy work for me. Neither does Aaron or Devin. Neither work for me either. I say just throw the whole thing out and start over. Anyway. So yeah, he's complaining to Jeremy, and he tells him basically what happened with the, crashing of the party with the ice cream. And Jeremy basically says, you know what? Funny idea. Maybe you should just go back and crash his party. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know what? You're right. I am gonna go do that. Thanks, bud. And he goes back in and he's like, okay, yeah, so I gave you a couple of minutes and, the ice cream is melted because you haven't fucking touched it. And he's like, can you give me a few more minutes? And I'm like, sir, you had all the minutes. Okay. And he's like, oh no, sorry. He said, I gave you a few minutes. And then he says, I want more. Well, I want $1,000,000, but don't mean you're gonna fucking get it. Get the fuck up and take your ice cream. Like, it's just, no. So anyways, he says, no, I wasn't asking. I was telling you, get the fuck up and take your fucking ice cream. Out the fucking door. Again. So Jeremy tells the other guys currently what's happening with the ice cream. Basically, this is ice cream gate. This is what this is at this point. And he's telling them what happened. So they're like, okay, great. Meanwhile, Devin is still here just casing the fucking joint while Aaron is talking to her. And it feels like a shark watching its prey. It's the weirdest thing. And they end up fighting kind of in front of Jen, and Jen is like, there's enough for me for everybody. Yeah, can you fuck off, one of you or both of you at this point? Like, seriously. And she's definitely not loving this. I wouldn't either. And Aaron does end up dipping because what else is he really supposed to do in this moment? Because who's going to win this? Anyway, Devin and Jen kiss at this point, and yay, there we go. Aaron now is like, this fucking guy, meaning Devin. And Devin comes back and he's like, oh, you know what? It was so good the second time. That's not fucking necessary. Listen, I don't care the kind of life you lived, whether you're raised by a single mother or not, or what the fuck. You don't need to be an asshole in the process. And again, you can be like, I'm here for Jen and whatever. Being here for Jen does not mean you need to act like an asshole in the process. That's what I personally feel. But again, who am I? And Aaron says, you feel good, huh? You feel really good. He's like, I'm not going to change my personality, is what Devin says, to appease you. I'm not asking you to change your personality. I'm not asking Jeremy to change his personality. And Jeremy was like, yo, my guy, don't bring my name up in this. Don't bring my name up in this. I have nothing to fucking do with this. And Devin's like, well, you got a name, so I'm going to fucking use your name. And he's like, no. And I hear what he's saying, because he doesn't just do Jeremy, he says Grant, Marvin, whatever. And I'm like, sir, you don't need to be bringing other people into your bullshit. Well, this is between the two of you. Ice Cream Gate does not involve everybody else. It only involves you two fools. So you need to bring Jeremy in this. Leave him alone. You don't need to bring Grant into this. Leave him alone. You need to bring, basically, don't bring in Jeremy or any other black men in here, because none of the black men here are worrying about you and Ice Cream fucking Gate. They're trying to do their damn thing and leave them the fuck alone. Okay? Actually, don't even bring anybody else into this. No one wants to be involved in your bullshit, my guy. I just love Jeremy being like, no, don't use my fucking name. No, I don't fucking know you. I don't even go here. Okay. Anyway, and he kind of then says to Aaron, he's like, I just want to fucking tick. So let me fucking tick. Tick, tick, motherfucker, out the fucking door. I don't understand. What is this? Let me tick. It's so weird. Anyways, but here comes Jen. She's going to be giving out that group date rose. And of course, Devin's like, I really think I'm going to get that rose because gelato. And, you know, Aaron's hoping that he gets a rose and this guy's hoping he gets a rose and everybody. But, with, you know, who ends up getting this rose is Grant. And after the date, we just see Jen eating more ice cream because it's ice cream. But that's the end of the group date. Let's move on now to the one-on-one date. So we have a one-on-one date with Marcus. We are going to be doing something, right? We're headed to what's a fucking airplane hangar doing in the middle of this shoot? Oh, right. We are going to be jumping out of said airplane. What? And she's like, I've always kind of wanted to do this, but now I'm rethinking life. She's not about this at the moment. And she's like, oh, and guess what? I'm also afraid of heights. I have a question. As a person who is not afraid of heights, mind you, I'm not jumping out. There's being afraid of heights and then there's jumping out of an airplane. Two different things. But I'm not afraid of heights. I love heights. I am the person for people who live in Canada, in particular, who live in Ontario, close proximity to Toronto. For those people who know the first Canadian place, I am the person who went up to like floor 69th floor because my aunt actually worked on the 69th floor, and I looked down. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm the person who went to the CN Tower and looked down because I'm a fucking idiot. But I love heights. That's why. And I love heights. I totally understand it. But I don't understand people who are afraid of heights doing things that makes you go high. My dad did the same thing. He's terrified of heights. When he was, able-bodied, obviously he's not doing it now with he's wheelchair bound and all that. But when he was able-bodied and first time I went to Wonderland was with my dad, I was 9 years old, and he went on the drop zone, and which I don't know what, I'm sure everyone kind of relatively knows what that is. I know that's probably different names for it depending on where you put movies and park you go to, but the drop zone, and I'm just like, why? Why would one at 9 years old? I knew how idiotic this was, and I was like, why would you ever want to? And he asked me, listen, I like heights. And he asked me, do you want to go on a drop zone? I said, no, the fuck you talking about? I'm not going on no drop zone. He's like, well, I'm afraid of heights, but I'm going to go do it anyways. I'm like, what? Does it make sense? Brain does not compute this. Nonetheless, this is what's going to be happening. So we are going to be jumping from 15,000 feet. No, the fuck, man, we are not. I'm not. I would never. But anyways, he asks her, so are you ready? She's like, no. And she's like, I'm not very happy right now. But he's good since he's actually jumped out of airplanes for a living. And we get up there. Okay. We're 15,000 feet. And Jenn is the first person to jump out of the airplane. And then Marcus. And I mean, it's really cool to watch other people jump out of an airplane. You see the clouds, and you can, jumping through the clouds, and the parachutes are released and they're just floating, That's cool. I like to watch people do it. I'm not fucking doing it. But anyways, we land. Jenn fell right on her ass while he fell with grace. And they kiss at the end. And she's happy that she did this with him. And he says, you seem so calm, prior to doing this. She's like, oh, no, I was crying on the inside. Uh-huh. But then he says, since we're talking about fears, he has a fear of opening up. But she's going to help him through that. But nonetheless, she kind of says here, she loved it so much that she wants to jump out of the airplane again. Are you insane? Yes. But anyways, now we are at the night portion of the date, and it's very echoey in its place. Anyone else notice that each time they talked, it was echoey? I think eventually they figured it out, but it was very echoey initially. But he shares with her that, I wasn't always as strong, assertive man you see here today. He said it took a lot of work. And he says, kind of says to her again, he was in the army. He was an army ranger for about 8 years. He would do kind of all of those night raids in the middle of the night, trying to get the bad guy. Like basically, he would be the person who would have killed Osama bin Laden, right? So it's basically like what he would do. And he tells her about his last deployment. So we do get a little bit more information here, so I did kind of say this wrong in the first episode. He was in a firefight with whoever it was. And though that person, decided to bring a grenade to a gunfight, and they basically, like he says, like they heard that thing hit the floor and had 3.5 seconds of knowing this thing's about to blow. And I'm not sure the state of the other people who were around if they were able to get this to some sort of safety, or at least not get hugely impacted by the blow, or what if anyone potentially were also injured or maybe even lost their life. He didn't really go into all of that. But what he did say is, which makes me think that maybe he was maybe one of the only ones injured. I don't know. I'm speculating. But because he was kind of like, he says right on top of it. And he says that the other people who were there risked their lives to get him out, to ensure he would get home and he would be safe, I think is incredible. I think in this moment I was very emotional. I was definitely crying when he started crying. I just can't imagine any of this. But yeah, he says that he was inpatient in the hospital for months. He would basically have to do surgeries. He had to learn how to walk again. He said there was life before and then there was life after. And he basically says that he wants to live a life that was worth saving. And it was basically kind of here where he started crying. And she, definitely received this, I think, the way you would expect anyone to. She does give him the rose. And yeah. And I just want to reiterate again, Marcus, thank you for your service, because this, incredible. But yeah, that is it for the one-on-one. We are going to take a break here, and when we come back, we are going to go into the second group date and into the cocktail party. Hi everyone. So I do have another song for you. So this song is by Jukebox Storm, and the song is called 6 Feet Under. I did get this single from the PodSafe music directory, which is on the World Podcast Network. If you do like the song, there will be links to the song for you to listen to or download in the show notes. And again, one of those links will be from the PodSafe music directory. So without further ado, I am going to play that song for you now.
Six feet under, he found his home, but he craved all alone. Sandy bed, cotton bones. 6 feet under, end of show. 6 feet under his secret sea. Got trapped in the man's machine, chained at sin, dug too deep. 6 feet under, time don't breathe. Too late to set it right. Too many mistakes to unwind. Broken dreams left behind. Here's the lesson, get it right. Race the day on the night. Feel till the doors are closed.
And I am back. And we got koalas, y'all. We got koalas, and she's right, well, koala, but she's right by the koala. And I just want to say, be careful because they do have, what is that one they have? Chlamydia. That's it. But we are in the outback. And she says she loves animals. In particular, she seems to love them more than people. And I said, same girl, same. We've got 9 guys here. And basically what we're going to be doing is a photo shoot out in the outback. And we're going to be doing them with animals. We do have a wildlife guy and we have a photographer. So this is what we're going to be doing. Her goal here is to kind of see the guys, how the guys are with animals. That's kind of where she wants to do. So our wildlife guy is like, so, Australia, this lovely country, it's definitely known for its dangerous wildlife. Yes, sir. Yeah. There are fucking creatures that have not roamed the earth any other place but in fucking Australia. The spiders. The spiders fucking alone. What the fuck? No. I would love to go to Australia, but I'm terrified to go to Australia. Anyways, this photo shoot is definitely important. Whoever does the best will get a one-on-one dinner while the other guys have to go home or back to the hotel. So that's where we're at. So first we got Sam M. He is going to be paired with Blue, who's definitely a handful. Blue is a lizard of some kind. Apparently, she has not bit anyone ever until last week. She did bite someone last week. So I would suggest keeping her face away from your face just in case. Fuck. Another guy is with an owl. I love owls. It's very cute. Apparently, her claws are very powerful because she does use them for prey. So you might be prey. Anyway, another guy has like the cutest little animal who basically looked like a rodent. I don't know what kind of animal this was, but it was, I think Thomas also had another animal that kind of looked like maybe rodent-like. Couldn't see its face. So anyways, we had another one who had an animal that kind of looked like a ferret. It's very cute. And then this other thing, like, oh no, the ones that were looking like ferrets, they were just squeaking. They're so cute. But Hakeem is just kind of saying, you know what? I'm okay with most animals. The one thing that I don't want to deal with though is spiders. I hate spiders. I don't like spiders. He has a fear of spiders. He doesn't want to deal with spiders. So I'm praying, I'm hoping that I'm not going to get a spider. Guess what, guys? He gets a fucking spider. When he sees the spider, he literally reminded me of Will Smith in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when he would like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a particular scene. Okay, so like for example, for those who are Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fans, like me, I've watched every single episode 1,000 times, when we kind of had like the fire set in the kitchen, and when the fire got bigger and bigger, and his reaction was like, oh, better yet, not even Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. His reaction, Will Smith's reaction in Hitch, when he had blown up from the allergy, that was Hakeem's reaction to the spider. Literally. It was incredible. Jenn is like, Hakeem's not well, bitch. No, he's not. Either am I. And I'm not the one who has to touch the fucking spider. Okay? Eva, he is not. Is that her name from America's Next Top Model? When she posed with the spider, the tarantula? This is, and that's not a fucking tarantula. I don't know what the fuck that is. But anyways, the guy tells him it can't run up your arm, and if it does run up your arm, it does get to your neck. Stay very still. What? Or what? If I don't stay still, what happens? And I think Jenn asks, is it venomous? He's like, no, No, not at all. Actually, maybe a little bit. So wait, you're going to give him a venomous, but potentially spider and say, if it crawls up your neck, stay still. What happens? Does he die? Does he get paralyzed? Does he turn into Peter Parker? What's happening here? I would really like to know. And so would he. Anyway, so when they put him on the spider, I don't know if it's him, maybe it was a girl, I'm sorry, maybe it's a they, I don't know, but put the spider on him, he's like, oh fuck, it's moving, shit, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, why won't it stop moving, where is it, why is it moving? He was just freaking out, and everyone is dying, and I mean, the amount of cussing that this man was doing in this moment was just chef's kiss. Really was. He's like, don't put that shit on my neck. Don't put that shit on my neck. He's like, it's not on your neck. You're fine. And I think they took the picture, although it went so quick. I went so quickly. He just wasn't saying still. That I didn't think they actually took the picture, but they did take the picture because they take the spider away and it's over. It's done. And he says, I think my mom would be, actually, I think he says that later. We'll go in order here so I don't then say it again later. I think we have one more animal. We got Melanie, who is, is a real smooth customer, my guy says. Oh, that's because it's a snake. No. And apparently Jenn has to be potentially on her own for this one. And Jenn, kind of like Akeem a second ago, is like, oh, the fuck no. Like, no. No. But they do say maybe one of the guys can come and like assist her with the snake, so she doesn't feel alone with the snake. And basically, I think it's Dylan. Yeah, Dylan steps up to the plate and says, okay, I'll do it. And it's in this moment that you knew, oh, so he's going to get the one-on-one time with her because he's the only guy that stood up. Of course, fucking Hakeem wasn't going to do. He just got traumatized by the spider, who may or may not be venomous. So he's like, I'm not fucking doing it. But no other guy stepped up to the plate. It was literally Dylan who did. Maybe they didn't have a chance to step up. I don't know, but he did. So you kind of knew this moment. Okay, yeah, so he's the one that's going to get the time. And Sam did think it was going to be him who's going to get that time. Obviously not. Dylan, yes, does officially get the time. And Hakeem was like, you know what? I may not have gotten the extra time, but I think my mom will be really proud of me because usually she's the one that has to go and kill the spiders, big or small, for me. I felt so seen in this moment. I will kill a spider on my own 9 times out of 10. Depending on the size of the spider, I might kill it with a tissue or I might have to get the vacuum. Now that depends. If that fucker has long legs, I'm done. I'm getting the fucking vacuum. I'm not going to kill it with my own hands because I really don't want to feel the crunchy. I'm so sorry, everybody. The crunching. I don't want that in my life. But I felt very seen in this moment because I remember story time for a minute. Y'all, buckle up. I remember that maybe I'll have the conversation because we may potentially have a guest on the podcast in a little bit, but I remember having my friend Letitia, for those who remember, she was on the Family Chantel episodes earlier in the year, and I remember we were, I don't know, no more than 8 or 9, and we were in my grandparents' basement, and there was a fucking, I don't want to say the word because I feel like it'll just metamorphose itself into my world, and I don't want that. But it was, let's say, thing that could potentially, oh fuck it, a centipede, and I don't fuck with them. Okay, I don't fuck with them. Don't come into my home. I don't care if you're good for my environment. I don't want you here. You know what I mean? But I'm 9 years old. I'm not killing one of those fuckers. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. I barely want to do them now at 33. But yeah, I don't want to deal with them. And I remember we're freaking out because it's kind of in an area where we're gonna get like trapped by the fucking thing. That's where we were at. And I remember just running up to the stairs, dipping on my on Letitia, and she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "The fuck out of here! Not my problem. Are you stuck behind with the scented thing?" So I was like, no, and I literally went to my grandma and said, "There's a bug downstairs, and we don't want to kill it." And my grandma went, who was kind of slow on stairs just due to spraining her ankle a couple of times. And she went down there and she killed that thing with her bare fucking hands. And I'm like, what? Not me. I'm not ever doing that. Yeah, so I feel very seen in this moment when he kind of said that. But again, I'm killing my own spiders for the most part. I don't need my mom to do it for me. Are you kidding me? Anyways, that's it for story time. Let's go to the night portion now. So Dylan says that I don't really feel like, you know, maybe serious when it comes to her. He kind of feels like maybe he doesn't quite fit in with everything. And she's like, really? Like, and he says that, his parents did get married in like 6 months after meeting each other. So pretty quick. And I mean, it could definitely, I think they're still together, his parents. So definitely shows like his doesn't understand that's the wrong word to use, but that he kind of gets it. But meanwhile, back at that hotel, the guys are returning and they're upset. Obviously, I totally get it. And they tell the other guys kind of what happened. And they kind of ask all the guys, listen, y'all have had time. Can you maybe potentially hang back a bit, a little bit tomorrow with the cocktail party? So we didn't really get the time that we wanted. And Devin is kind of the only person who speaks up here and says, listen, I get you. I got you, you know? And he's like, I don't particularly want to be last in line, but, I do think that makes sense. Hold on to that for those who didn't watch the episode, because this is going to come back. But let's go back to Dylan and Jenn. So he talks about maybe there's a racism of kind of fitting in. And she does kind of understand this because she kind of, maybe feels the same way, kind of moving through life. But then after that, they kind of talk about the MCAT, whether or not he got his test results back yet, which he hasn't. He also said that he was a shy kid. And then she gives him the rose. And, that's when, they kiss too. And he just hopes that he doesn't have to explain himself to the other guys. He's going to be feeling a little nervous. And, I kind of, understand that for him. But let's go back to the hotel. So Aaron is still feeling salty about the whole situation. So he asks Devin, can we talk? And he basically tells him, he lacks awareness. So hopefully, he can learn a thing or two from me. Or it tells the camera, I should say. And he tells him, you were really arrogant the other night. And he says, I know, I'm sorry, maybe how I handled things, but you called my character into question, which he obviously doesn't appreciate. And Aaron is like, you could say I was right or something. And he's like, I told you what I said completely out of love. What the fuck? Let me continue on with this though, because I do have some thoughts on Aaron. And he says, I see you as a bully. This is what Aaron says to Devin. He sees him as a bully. But he's like, I support you. What? He's like, I got something for you. Figure, something. And he goes and he comes back with this fucking book. He said that this helped him grow. He's like, I hope that, I could probably just do the same for you. This book is called Principles for Self-Growth. And the proper term for it, but anyways, the blurb underneath the title basically says, How to Understand Yourself and Gain Emotional Depth. What the actual fuck is this fucking book? Let's continue. I have a little bit left. He says, yeah, sure, I'll read this at some point. No, he fucking won't. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want anything to do with this fucking book. And you know what? I don't blame him. So basically my thoughts on Aaron and really Devin and this whole situation. Devin is arrogant. 1000%. He's arrogant. Would I call him a bully? No. He's not a bully. You just don't like him because he's being assertive. And that assertiveness is fucking with your time. But I wouldn't call him a bully. Do I think Aaron is potentially also arrogant? Maybe even a touch narcissistic. Maybe. I don't know about narcissistic, but definitely arrogant and thinks that his shit don't stink. When it does, like everybody else is, okay? So, as much as Devin is annoying in these moments, he does kind of say to him, you're doing this because I took her aside for 25 seconds for ice cream. He has a point. And Aaron continuously harping on this doesn't look good for him at all. And let me tell you something. I don't know how these parents raise their kids, but we have two examples of how they raise their children with Noah and Aaron. Noah was also the same way on The Bachelorette as well. He was a little arrogant. He was a little bit of an asshole. And also just thought he could do no wrong. He saw a good side of him on BIP. Again, it's just a different environment. But yeah, I was going to leave that there. And he thinks he's making himself look good, but he isn't. And this whole self-awareness fucking book shit, if that works for you, sir, that is really great. You could have potentially gotten this post-divorce. I don't fucking know. But for you to give this to somebody else because you feel that they're not self-aware or you feel they lack emotional maturity or whatever the fuck, doesn't mean you put your shit on them. I would have done worse than leave that book on the table. I would have taken that book. I would have chucked it in the garbage. I would have taken that book. I would have thrown it down the balcony. I would have taken that book. I would have put it in, I don't know, a pool. I would have taken that book and I would have, Angela Bassett style, burned that shit up in a whatever the fuck and walked away. And that's that. He's better than me. Because that's bullshit. But anyways, that's that. Let's move on to the cocktail hour because we got a lot more to go through. We are not done. So it's the cocktail party now. And guess what, y'all? Let me remind everybody just in case we forgot. Previously, we had Thomas saying, actually, no, I think it was Thomas. I think it was Jahan. He literally says, listen, we didn't get any time. Can we kind of, get in there first, get her some time, or at least, respect everybody and getting their time. So, and Devin was one of the only people, if not only that, the only person who said, yeah, that seems fair. Devin is the first person who pulls Jenn aside. Now, two things. Number one, is that shitty of him under the circumstances? Sure. Number two, he's not here to make sure Tom, Dick, and Harry gets time. He's trying to make sure that he's getting his time and he's ahead of the pack, because he is here for her, which is how this goes. This, bro shit. Is this not how this fucking works? Are you kidding? No woman on The Bachelor would have been able to say, can you all just sit, stay back and let us get some time? Those girls would have laughed in their fucking face and said, you wish. You know what I mean? So I don't know why we're surprised that someone stepped in and took their time, maybe we're going to get our backs up because it's Devin. But I'm curious, would we have acted the same way if it was Marcus? Would we have acted the same way if it was Grant or Sam? I don't know if Sam M was on the date, the last date. Who was on the other date? Sam N or whoever, right? If any of those people who were on the first date or Marcus, would we have, or Dylan, would we have acted the same way as if it was Devin? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But it's just like, are we shocked? We shouldn't be shocked. And if you are upset about it and you want to address it, fine, cool. We're going to discuss what not to do. So Aaron is like, I thought he would, kind of step back a little bit, right? And Thomas goes to Devin because he wants to have time with Jenn. Actually, you think in this moment, he's going to Jenn, right? So he can have some time with her and basically steal her away from Devin. Instead, exactly what I said is correct. He goes to Devin and he says to Devin, yo, bro, can we talk? And I'm just like, what the fuck is about to happen right now? And Jenn is like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here then. And they're not far, really. Like, basically, we're Jenn, for those who didn't watch, we're Jenn and Devin were on this couch kind of right on top of the stairs. So basically what what Devin and Thomas end up doing is going off to the side, maybe, I don't know, 10 steps away from her, and are having this fucking argument with each other. And Thomas says, you bullshitted us in front of 8 other guys, where you said that you would have, hung back and not go first. And he says, where did I say that I was not going to go first, or that I was going to allow the rest of you to go first, or I was going to be last in line? Where did I say that? Technically, he did say, I'm not going to be last in line. And he did not say that he wasn't going to respect everybody and getting their time. But he also didn't say that he wasn't going to go first if the opportunity presented itself. He didn't say none of those things. So we technically didn't do anything wrong here. And Thomas thinking that if you interpreted what he said your own way, then that's on you. But he technically did not say any of those things. He is correct. As much as Devin bothers the fuck out of me, he is correct. He never once said that he wasn't going to take the time that is allotted to him. And if that means him going first, then he's going first. And Jenn is actually hearing the whole thing. And he's kind of like, there are better things in life to do than, having this conversation or something along those lines. And whatever it was that he did say, Jenn like agreed with him. She's like, like, so you're clearly not making yourself look good in this moment. And he says to Thomas, you're embarrassing yourself, which again, he is. And he goes back to go down the stairs where Jenn is sitting and says, I'm sorry, Jenn, you have to hear this and blah, blah, blah. And Thomas goes to talk to her, and we'll get to them in a minute. But when Devin goes back downstairs to talk and basically tells the other guys, kind of what happened, and Grant says, well, you got balls, but I mean, you had your time. So basically, like, don't go back and get more time is basically what he's trying to say here. Respect everybody else's time is also kind of what he's saying here, which I don't disagree with. And he doesn't seem to disagree with it either. He either says, yeah, I have my time and that's that. So kind of back to Thomas and Jenn. Or before he does that. He says, Thomas made a fool of himself. I tend to agree, and most of the guys there also agree. Even if they don't like Devin, they do agree that this was a bad look, because when he says he came up there, doesn't steal her from me and makes it about Jenn, he makes it about me, and he pulls me aside to have a conversation, or better yet, to have an argument where Jenn can hear the whole fucking thing while she's just sitting there sipping on her Prosecco while he's having this argument with Thomas. He's not wrong. And they're like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And he says, he not only embarrassed himself in this moment, made me look like a fool, but he's also ruining the night for her. He is not considerate of her. He is not wrong. And I hate to agree with him, but he's not wrong. So Thomas basically tells her, Devin shouldn't be pulling her first. They're kind of like, with everything that happened on the date yesterday, we kind of agreed that like Austin was going to talk to you first and blah, blah, blah. And I hated this because before Jenn even said anything, I'm thinking to myself, but where is it for you to make those decisions? Where is it for any of you guys to make that decision? And it's not like Jenn is coming in here with an agenda saying, okay, I'm going to talk to Grant first, then Sam, and, let's throw in Tomas in there in the process. She's not doing any of those things. Whatever happens, happens. So why are you game planning the situation? It's kind of weird. And she says as much, and she says, but you're basically deciding for me. Why are you deciding for me who I get to talk to first or who talks to me first? And she's like, I get where you're coming from, but if someone wanted to pull me first, then they should have done so. And they didn't. He did. So what is it at this point? And she says, does it make more sense to spend your time arguing with him while I'm sitting here by myself? And then when we do finally have the conversation, we're not talking to each other to get to know each other. Instead, you're rehashing what just happened. Think, my guy. If you want to have the conversation with Devin afterwards, after you've had your time with her, fine. But you don't I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like this before. This was new for me, anyways. So Sam M basically comes in and he's like, I'm going to steal her, basically save Belle. That's basically what he does here. And obviously Thomas is going to feel away because he's like, I think I probably just shot myself in the foot. I would think so. Anyway, Sam tells her that I respect your decisions and I trust you, which is basically something that clearly none of the other guys, in particular Thomas, and I guess even Aaron, don't seem to do or understand. But anyways, then Devin is like, clearly being myself is just not working here. Doesn't matter how much I'm being myself, there's still going to be issues and all of this. But he's like, I got shut on about it. So Thomas is outside complaining to Tomas about what happened with Devin. And Devin comes out to basically say his shit and say, like, you're dumb and you embarrass yourself. And clearly Thomas doesn't want to deal with any of this. He's like, for fuck's sakes, like, I don't want to have this conversation. And he says, like, Devin says, everyone thinks that I am me in there. And Thomas is like, go back inside. I think at this point, Tomas has like left the scene and he's like, fuck. Or Thomas says like, fuck off, go inside. And he's like, nah, I like the weather out here. He's like, okay, fine, cool. I'm gonna go then because like he doesn't want to talk to him. But again, something I do agree with Devin on, you caused the drama, Thomas. You really did. You caused the issues here by addressing a situation that, sure, if you want to address, fine. You addressed it in a way that was just not great. And you want to get mad at Devin for confronting you about it? And you want to run away like a little bitch because you can't handle yourself? And saying how you're gonna, I think he used some term around the lines of like, I'm gonna like punch you in the face or something like that. No, you can't, sir. Calm down. I really, truly, I feel like none of these idiots could throw hands, but I'm just trying to say. But they basically go inside to argue more there. Then thank God, here comes Jesse saying, Okay, so sorry to interrupt, but the ceremony, the cocktail hour is done. It's rose ceremony time. And he's like, y'all can collect yourself and then we can continue on with this. And that's literally what they end up doing. They just fight some more once Jesse walks away. You're not going to solve. You know what? In the words of Sean Robinson, I don't think we're going to solve this tonight. I think we're going to have to leave this here. I wish you all the best. Let's continue. So we're going to be doing the rose ceremony now, and let's get on with it. So she gives roses out to Austin, Hakeem, Spencer, Jeremy, Jonathan, John, Tomas, Sam M, Devin, Sam N, Aaron, and Thomas. Obviously, the entire time Thomas was shooting a brick. But with our 3 men earlier in the episode, we have 15 guys. Now, I realized my math wasn't mathing last episode. We had 18 guys, not 15. Anyways, going home is John, Brian, and Marvin. So after all of this, though, Sam M is like, Devin is a talker. And the reason he said this is because Devin says some bullshit about how, let's see if I wrote this down. It's like, I don't know if I remember. Something around the lines of like, I'm going to do what I got to do. And I hope we all do that. I'm sure we're all going to do the same thing. Like, it was the weirdest thing. The weirdest fucking thing, this speech. It's like, he's trying to do like a pick me up for everybody, but then still knock some people the fuck down and then make it about himself. It's an interesting way of doing a speech. But yeah, this is basically what he does. And Sam, this is where he says, Devin is a talker. And I'm like, what? Sam, you're so right. He talks too much. He talks too much. He lets down up his fucking voice. Anyways, but that's it. We're done with the episode. We're still going to be sticking in Australia. I'm not sure if we're sticking in Melbourne or if we're moving elsewhere, but we're still going to be in Australia for a time. But that is it for the episode. And we're kind of on track with Bachelorette now. So with that being said, we're going to take a pause on Bachelorette. So we'll get the next episode out a little later. We are probably going to be working on getting Day UK done, because we've had 2 episodes that haven't been covered, and then we will kind of be on track. So the plan for UK is to release both episodes at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if we're going to get that next, or potentially I might do Forbidden Love first, so that at least I can get that out to you after this, but we'll see how that goes. You probably won't get that episode until Thursday. So I'll probably be working on getting both of those episodes done for you on Thursday. But with that being said, that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I'll read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea X2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea X2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea X2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteax2@hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteax2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.